Hi there. Do you have what it takes to write and self publish your own book, whether it be fiction, non fiction, or anything in between? Do you have the skills needed, the time, or the money? Do you have that attitude that'll get the job done? If you want to know if writing a fiction book and self publishing it is for you, then keep watching this video. Hi there, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Lisa Oliver. The best way to find out about me is to Google me, Lisa Oliver author, or to put my name into Amazon, Lisa Oliver. I am a writer of paranormal romance stories. I believe in the fated mate trope, and I believe that love is for everybody of a consensual age. Now, we've got that out of the way. So writing and self-publishing. There's a whole mass of courses online. They tell you if you do this and do this and do that, you can make money as a self-publisher. If you put out low content, no content, colouring books, activity books, notebooks, and all that sort of thing, you're self-publishing. They're right in that respect. You are. But I am talking to the people who want to or think they can sit down and write a book, to be tapping out every word themselves, creating a story, a characters, worlds, to the point where they explain a lovely long plot and then they type the end. And that's called a book as we know it. Okay. Nearly every single person that I come across says one of two things when I say that I'm a writer. They say, oh, I've got this really good idea for a book, but I just never have the time to write it. The other side of the person is, oh, I could never do that. It just seems so boring. It just takes so long. And you sort of think to yourself sometimes, with the different perceptions people have about authors and what they do each day, and there is a meme, I think, that's really quite hilarious about it, and also very true. Firstly, why would anybody want to do it in the first place? I think the thing is that we've been raised to believe, and rightfully so, that when you have got a book out and it's got your name on, and I haven't actually got one handy to my desk right now, and you can't even see the bookcase that they're on because they're on the other side of that chair, damn it. But yeah, when you have a book and it's got your name on it, that really means something. It is something tangible. You have created something worthwhile. It is a legacy. It is a part of yourself. And many people think it's a bit like giving birth. Believe me, I've given birth 3 times because I have 3 adult children. I have written 80 books. And if I had to make the choice, I would continue writing the books. To me, it's easier. But yeah, it's not something that everybody can do. And I got told this because, for those of you who don't know, I started this channel because I believed that everybody who wanted to could live a life like I do. My income from my books pays my bills. It pays the rent on this house. It pays for everything that you see in this house, over time, of course. You know, I put petrol in my car from the books that I sell. I put food in the cupboards from the books that I sell. I live entirely on the money that I make from the books that I sell. And I do this without a publisher, without a publicist. I have a brilliant promoter, which is my daughter Holly, who runs Publication Pixie. But, you know, I have been doing this for 8 years. And I have been living solely on the income of my writing. So I want for everybody to be able to do that. You know, I get up when I want, I go to bed when I want, I write when I want, I do what I want when I want. Now, admittedly, I don't have children living at home anymore. I don't have a significant other anymore. I don't even have my puppies anymore because unfortunately I wasn't allowed my dogs in a rental property. But aside from that, so I do realise that I have certain advantages that a lot of other people do. But I always believed that if you wanted to write, you could. And I started writing originally, not my fiction, but I was making money from non-fiction work back when my kids were still at home. And I had a husband and I had two dogs. But, that was a long time ago. But then somebody sort of pulled me up on it and they said, oh, well, what about if you've got disabilities and things like that, or maybe you have dyslexia or another issue that may make it difficult for you to get your thoughts down onto the page. And I was like, oh, well, that's nothing, that's what dictation software is for, or that's what editors are for, or you could talk your story into a dictaphone and get somebody to transcribe it for you. So yes, you might need a bit of money, but you could still get it done. I truly felt that there was no barrier to writing a book and self-publishing it. Amazon, say what you like about Amazon. Some people love the place, some people hate it. But the bottom line is, for a person like me, I live in New Zealand, like at the bottom tiny corner of the world. And I can, in the space of an afternoon, format my book, make the cover, put it up on Amazon, and it doesn't cost me anything. And within 2 to 24 hours, that book is live on the Amazon website for people to buy. It doesn't cost me anything except my time. Amazon takes their percentage out. Of course they do. But I make 70% on every copy I sell. Boom. How easy is that? Publishing has never been this easy. But then I presupposed that people wanted to do this. I wanted to do it. I've wanted to tell stories all my life. I have been a reader since I was 4. When my sisters used to play outside in the snow, where we lived in England, I used to be curled up on the back doorstep reading the next book. I was reading adult books by the time I was 6, and I have continued to read, I love reading my whole life. And when my marriage started breaking down, that's got to be probably 10 years ago now, I fell back into books to help me feel better, and then I started writing books. I started writing books about the love I wished I had, and I haven't stopped. My marriage broke down very amicably, but my marriage broke down. My kids are all grown. I was able to do that, and I still do it. I still write about the love that I believe that every one of us deserves. So I keep writing. And that's me. But I don't have anything else in my life, so maybe I'm being unfair. When I talk to people about having no time to write, look up here. That video is up there. What to do when you haven't got time to write. And then I have to write that down so I remember to put the card in. No time to write. I came up with a whole stack of different ways that you could create time. Because I believe that if you believe your writing is important, then you will. And the reason why I felt that the writing was important, strangely enough, wasn't so much for your creative soul or for putting your story out to the world or things like that. This is an absolutely brilliant way of making a living. And I don't mean to sound crass about it, but I am not one of those arty-farty writers who just, who want to change the world one soul at a time. I am thrilled and I genuinely love it when a reader, and I've had emails like this where a reader has written to me and said, oh, I've just spent the last month caring for somebody in hospital. Your book, blah, 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 got me through. That's incredible. My books make people smile. That's Can you even imagine what that gift is? That is freaking awesome. But you know what those readers do for me? They allow me to live by myself. They allow me to live alone and care for myself. They allow me to live in comfort by myself without having to rely on the government for handouts, without having to rely on a partner to support me, without having to rely on my kids' generosity, which is debatable at the easiest of times. I have amazing kids, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't want to live with any of them, not because I don't love them, but because they're all at those periods of their lives where they're developing their lives and families of their own. My readers do that for me in terms of cold, hard cash. And that is freaking fantastic. If you've been laid off, or you've been made redundant, or you just can't get a job, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, but it is a damn good step in the right direction towards passive income that will keep you going for quite some time. So what do you need? What do you need to write? And we're going to talk about writing fiction and self-publishing. Because you know all those courses talking about you doing the niche research and the digging down in the niche and the writing that one book on a niche long keyword that nobody else has done is guaranteed to make you hundreds and thousands of sales. It's all bullshit. The reason why those long-tailed words haven't got any books in them is because nobody was searching for that information in the first place. And you don't have to take it from me. Just go and do a quick 5-minute research on Amazon for yourself and you'll soon find out, or look at Google Trends. But you see, so there's fiction writers. For the fiction writers, what do you need to do this? You need to have a creative mind. And you need to embrace that creative mind. Whether you're being eccentric or whether you've got a weird, devious ideas, or whether you're into mysteries and murders. That's the deliciously complex stuff to do with human emotions and psychological traumas and things. There are people who would lap that sort of thing up. Or maybe you're somebody like me who actually does enjoy the romance drama, the romance genre, even though I don't have romance in my own life. I actually do, because every single day I write about my men and their romances and how they work out. The romances I long for in my own life. And yeah, so you've got to have the mind for it first. You've got to have that belief. Actually, no, I'm going to correct myself there. You don't need the belief that you can do it, because you can prove it to yourself that you can. So you actually just need the motivation to get yourself started. You do need to take it out of your head that it's a get-rich-quick scheme. You know, people talk about the fact that the woman who wrote the Harry Potter books, I don't mention her name for various reasons, but the woman who did that was not a get-rich-quick overnight. It took her 6 years to write that book. And it took her a long time afterwards to get the first one accepted. And she has made a lot of money since then, and I'm sure she now lives a very comfortable life. Doesn't make her a nice person, but still. The woman who wrote the 50 Shades of Grey, I don't think it took her as long. But she basically pillaged that idea from someone else. Still, she made a huge amount of money, and a lot of people will tell you, I'm not one of them, but a lot of people will tell you she was a lousy writer. I don't know. I did read them. I got bored. I started flicking through and I just gave up. I like the idea of the love story. I like book 3 better than I like the others. I like the ending better than I did the beginning. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Those stories are really, really rare. There's well over 1 million books gets published every year, and how many of them do you actually hear about? Sod all. So don't get it into your head that it's a get rich quick. Don't get it into your head that you're going to make millions. If you do, that is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful side effect. But is it possible to make $10,000 a month? from writing your own stories and self-publishing them? I do it. I've done it every month for 8 years. So I know it's possible. So you need an attitude. You need persistence to keep writing, because if you look at the videos I've got about soggy middles and things like that, it's all very well to get excited about an idea, and it's all very well to have this dramatic ending in your head, but you're still going to get from the beginning to the end, and it's that soggy middle bit which is sometimes the hardest bit to write. So you need persistence, you need discipline, because if you say you're going to write at a certain time of day or a certain time of week, depending on your commitments or whatever else, you have to do it because it has to be important to you. I listen to far too many authors who are on the fence. They want this writing career, you know, with everything in their soul. So they tell me. But then they've got this excuse and that excuse and this excuse and that excuse as to why they didn't write this week or why they didn't do this, that, and the other this week. If you want a writing career, hear the word career. It means you've got to put the time in. You've got to put the effort in. So if you want a career writing and self-publishing your own work, you have to put in the hard yards first. And you build up a backlist, because one book is not enough. Whether it's a series or a standalone, doesn't make any difference. You have to build up a backlist. And you have to be publishing regularly so that your readers get used to how often you publish. They get looking forward to your next book. You need to understand there is so much more to writing and self-publishing than just writing the book and putting it up on Amazon. You need to promote it before the book is out, while the book is out, after the book is out. You need to be promoting the next book that comes out in the series. You need to be promoting your brand, who you are, and everything else, so people will relate to you and people will remember you, and they'll remember your name and they will buy your book because of it. There is so much to being a writer and a self-publisher, or a self-published author, I should say. And it's real fun. It's really awesome, because I have absolute control over my life, absolute control over my income. Well, as far as, you know, some books sell better than others, but it doesn't matter, because I've made so many friends along the way, so many wonderful readers who encourage me every day. And that's the side source. That's the bonus on top. That's the cherry on top that you don't realize until you actually step into this world and actually immerse yourself in it. When you realize that readers will get in touch with you, and they will let you know how they felt about a good book, good or bad. It doesn't matter, because they've reached out. They believe in you as a person, and they want you to know that they care. And that is wicked cool. And then you've got, oh my goodness, then you've got the case, even in the cases where they don't like your story, they'll write and tell you why, because they want you to do well. And they'll hope that you'll take their thoughts into consideration, which you will or will not do. It doesn't matter. They become friends, and they let you know what your stories mean to them. And that is priceless. It's what I get up for every day. And even when I've been struggling with burnout, like you'll have seen in my previous video, I won't give up. I won't walk away, because I have got that discipline. I have got those ideas. I've got far too many of them. I learn and improve with every book I write. And I definitely have the time, because, you know, I can always record when the New Zealand cyclists are doing really well in the Commonwealth Games. Is it viable is what I do viable as a long-term passive income? Yes, it is, but only for as long as you keep promoting and you keep putting out new content, because the best marketing for your past books is your next book. So whether people would even consider that a passive income, I don't know. Because it's not something that will keep going and just like keep self-perpetuating unless you keep adding more stuff into it. So in that respect, perhaps it's not a passive income. But in terms of the fact that I have probably sold 2 or 3 books in the length of time it's taken for me to talk to you, and I haven't done anything about it, they just happen to be there and somebody will have bought them, then in that respect it is a passive income. And the control I have over my life, the control I have over my finances, there is nothing more empowering than that. There really isn't. So I believed that everyone could do what I do. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But I'm going to keep putting these videos out. But if you can think of an instance where perhaps you absolutely couldn't do this, let me know in the comments why. Maybe I'll have an answer for it and maybe I won't. And maybe you'll prove me wrong, and it won't matter because I'm living my best life. And the purpose of these videos is to help everybody else who wants to live that sort of life as well. So, although perhaps you want your significant other and your children around. I do adore my children, but it's really neat that they're old enough to have their own houses. I don't have to clean up after them anymore. But anyway, my dear souls, hopefully this has helped. Hopefully this has made you think. Hopefully it has definitely dissuaded you from the fact that you think that writing and self-publishing for a living is easy, because it isn't. And it's also not a get-rich-quick scheme. And anybody that tells you that it is, please run away as fast as possible, and definitely don't give them any money. Because incidentally, you can write and self-publish all completely for free. It doesn't cost you anything. So there's no need for you to go throwing your hard-earned money to somebody who claims that they can help you make God knows how many $1,000s in a month writing and using KDP. Because that's bullshit. You can put anything you like on Amazon KDP for free, and incidentally, that never guarantees it's going to sell. There's a heck of a lot goes on. Goes on behind the scenes to ensure that a book is even noticed, let alone sold. But I'm going to close this off for now, my friends, because it's a good 20-odd minutes, and I don't know if you've listened to any of my other videos, but I'm having a hellish problem with my internet, so getting these videos up onto YouTube is going to be a joy in itself, a rather frustrating endeavour, but it is awesome to be able to back talking to you again. If you have any questions at all, please drop them in the comments below. The link to my latest book, the one that caused me all the problem with my peace of mind, the one that JP and I wrote, is also in the comments below, in the description below. You would make my day if you would please hit like and subscribe. And comments are really awesome too. I promise I answer everyone. And once again, commenting, liking, and hitting subscribe and that notification bell. You could do all of those things and it doesn't cost you anything either. Please hug the ones you love, my friends, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye.